Right, apparently I'm going live this morning, and I've chosen the stupidest time. It's 10:19 on Monday morning. Now nobody's going to be watching, so that means if I fluff my lines, if I make any mistakes, I can very easily just delete this, and no one's not going to ever know the wiser. Anyway, let's just have a quick look. So I picked up this watch last week. This is a Casio AE3000. It's one of the world time range, and it's an illuminator, which means it has a fairly decent light, which you can just about see there. So yeah, I picked this up last week. I ordered it a few weeks ago from Great Watches in the US. I get a lot of my sort of call them budget Casios from Great Watches. They take a few weeks to come and get a really good deal. So I paid £25, I think I did, for this one, and yeah, I think it's a great watch. However, I was surprised at how big it was. So this watch turned up last week, and I was really excited because I've really always liked the size of this screen and all the data that's on there, and yeah, it was just a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. So I took some photos. I shared it on a local sort of like a Casio Facebook page. I had a couple of people say they didn't like it. I think it looks great. It's just big. So I thought I would do a quick video and just show you just how big it is, really. So as I said, this is live, so excuse the clattering and smashing around, but there is the watch on my 7-inch wrist. As you can see, it more than covers my wrist. It's quite a size, really, and I thought I'd do some comparisons today. Let's adjust this camera a little bit so I can get a better angle. Bear with me. Let's come up a bit and point it down. Let's see. Okay, so there is the AE3000 balanced precariously on my 7-inch wrist. Let's go to the extreme end right now, and then let's put the Casio F91W right next to it. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, if you like wearing a watch of this size, I can't imagine you ever being comfortable wearing one like this on your wrist. It's just absolutely mad, the difference. Another recent favourite is the AE1500. So this watch here, I thought was quite big when I got it, but actually now feels quite nice on my wrist. And again, next to the 3000, as you can see, it still dwarfs it just a bit. Classic G-Shock square. Some people might think these are quite chunky watches, but you can see here next to the AE3000, it just looks positively tiny. And keeping the Casio theme, but going analog, this is the Duro MDV 106. I always get that number wrong. MDV 106, apparently I don't. There we go, you can see the size there. So it's quite a big watch. Let's go and look at some weights, just to give you an idea, because he's big, but it's not actually that heavy. So let's get the scales on. So first of all, let's have a look at the Classic here. 21 grams for an F91W. G-Shock square. 54 grams. The AE1500, big fan, I must get the beige one. 59, so a little heavier than the square. One that I know is going to be quite heavy here, the Duro, and this is the standard strap, there's nothing fancy going on here. 93 grams. So before I put this one up, any guesses? Do we think where it's going to come? Remember how much bigger it is than all of these watches. 64 grams. Yep. So it's a smidge heavier than the square and the 1500, it's 10 grams heavier. So it's not really a very heavy watch at all. I'm probably waffling on quite a bit here. You might want to have a quick look at the features while you're here. So as you can see on the home screen, it tells you the time. It's got then a world time signified by a plane here, and then a home time signified by this little home icon. I actually thought when I first saw this that this was maybe some kind of envelope, and thought maybe there was some smartwatch features on here, but no, don't be so ridiculous for 25 quid. Anyway, loads of basic features on here. This is the time zone, and one of my favorite features, if you like, of this watch is not one of the functions, but one of my features is when you press the mode button, all the text ripples through, and I quite like this. This is quite a nice little feature. As you can see, I've now switched to the alarm mode, of which there's 5 alarms, and all the time at the top it's telling you what your local time is here. So I then switch to the stopwatch mode, still tells me what the time is at the top. To the timer mode, still tells me what the time is. And then that little high-pitched beep tells me I'm back to the home page, and I've now got my normal time back down here, telling me what day it is, and then the date as well. So there we go. That's a Casio AE3000. I'll put it back on my watch. I'll put it back on my wrist a second and show you just how big it is again. Probably better measure it as well. Why don't we finish off with a quick measurement? Let's get this. Here we go. We'll just measure it. So right across the face here, from I guess bezel to bezel almost. Here we go. Bezel to bezel. 56.4 mil. It's quite big. So you're looking at 54 by 56, and then you compare that to something like the F91W here, 37 by 34. So it's 2 centimeters bigger. It's crazy. Anyway, there you go. That's the AE3000W. That was kind of like my little comparison to show you how big it was. But hopefully you might like this as a quick review. I like this watch a lot. It is quite big. But just to summarize, I actually fell asleep wearing this watch on Saturday night, and I think partially because of its weight, I didn't really notice it too much. I tend not to sleep with a watch on, but this one wasn't actually as uncomfortable as I thought it might be. So there we go, that's me signing out. I'll see you in another video soon. Cheers.